Okay guys, so in this lesson we're going to be talking about the distributive property and combining like terms in order to perform simplification of expressions. So distributive property, what is that? Well, when you have a coefficient, which means basically a number, outside of a parentheses, you multiply every single term inside by that number. So we'll do a couple of examples to show you guys how it's done. So example number 1, 2, and 3, this is what they look like. So example number 1, if we want to use the distributive property, so that says that you have to simplify by multiplying every single number inside by that number. So in this case, for example 1, we have to multiply the 3 by the x, and also 3, we have to multiply that by 2. I like to draw the arrows. Don't forget to draw the arrows. People that don't draw the arrows are the people that forget to multiply a term, like the last one. So don't forget to draw the arrows. Very important. So if we multiply this out, we get 3 multiplied by x is 3x. Just put them together side by side. This means multiplication. And 3 times 6 gives me 6, so positive 6. So there we go. 3x plus 6 is our final answer. For example number 2, please try your hardest not to try to subtract or add the -4 and the 7. The reason being, if you follow the order of operation PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we have to actually do parentheses first, then multiplication, meaning distributive property, and then at the end, addition and subtraction. So try your hardest not to add these two or subtract these two. Ignore the -4 for now. So distributive property is always going to be first. So we're going to have 7 multiplied by that and multiplied by that. 7 times 1 gives me 7. 7 times 3 is 21. So we get 7 minus 21x. Okay, now that we did the distributive property, aka multiplication, we could actually take into consideration the -4. So we have -4 plus 7 because it's positive, and then minus 21x. Well, if you notice, we have like terms here. So these, neither of them have variables, so we could actually put those two together. -4 plus 7 will give me a positive, because the positive one is bigger, 3. So we get 3. That came from 7 minus 4, and then we just drop down the -21x. We don't have any other x's, so we can't really do anything about that. So done. There's our second simplification. Example 3. If we do the distributive property in this problem, so we have to multiply the -10, don't forget the negative, by everything inside this parentheses, but we also have to do another distribution with the 6, multiply the 6 by everything inside on this part. So if we do that here, negative times a positive is a negative. The negative is always going to win when you have multiplication. So we get -10. Negative times a negative is a positive. The negatives clash, turns into a positive, which is positive 90x. Don't forget the x. If we do this distribution on the right side, we get 6 multiplied by x, which is 6x. That one was positive, so we're going to put a plus in front. That's going to be 6 times 10, which is 60. But this is going to be a -60 because we have a negative in front of the 10. Again, positive, negative, the negative is always going to win. So now we have this. Well, we're not done because we have like terms, right? So if you remember combining like terms, which you should know by now, we have x's that we can combine. We can put those together. We have numbers without variables that we can combine. We can put those together. If we do so, we get 96x, right? Put all the x's together. We get 96 of them. We can do the same thing with the -60 and the -10, which is -70. So combine like terms. Now we're completely simplified. So box your final answer. Okay, let's do a few more examples so you guys can get more comfortable with this, and then we're going to be all set. So 2 more examples. So same thing with the 5. We're going to do distributive property here and distributive property here. If we do example number 4 together, so 5 times x gives me 5x. 5 times 4 is 20, but we have a negative in the front, so that's -20. -10 and x, that's going to give me -10x. -10 times 2 is -20. So before we finish, we have to combine like terms. So these ones can go together. Don't forget the negative in the front, guys. Some people forget when they combine like terms, the negatives or the positives that are in the front. That's actually important. So don't forget to circle those along or box them or whatever it is that you're going to need to do. So this actually becomes a -5x if we combine the x's together. And -20, we get -40. So again, we subtract a negative and a negative. Sign stays the same. Add up the values. So we get our final simplification, which is -5x minus 40. The last one that we're going to do, so example number 5, same idea. We have a -3 in the front, so distributive property. We have a -4 in the front of this parentheses, distributive property. Don't forget to draw your arrows. So if we combine like terms, we get negative 3x. Negative means negative is a positive. That's going to be a positive 21y. Negative times a positive is a negative, so that's a negative 24x. Don't forget the x. Negative 4. Negative 2y, that gives me a positive 8y. Okay, so we did the distributive property. So we just have to combine like terms. Again, same as the last problem. These x's can go together. Don't forget to include the negatives if there are some. These y's can go together because they are like terms, so don't forget to include those. And then we do the final simplification, negative, negative. So we're subtracting a negative, or combining them, I should say. This should give me a negative 27x. So add them up. And then the final simplification would be 21 and 8 more, we get 29y, and that would be a positive. So box your final answer, and we are done. I hope this helped. See you on the next one.